um on
Okay.
the stage. I don't forget.
Okay.
I've forgotten. Old age. I've
It's
forgotten. I've
Can't with
forgotten.
it.
We
not
are
reach
live.
anywhere. See, Olayinka said he cannot enter.
So we are.
Is he supposed to be here?
Why can't he enter?
I don't know. See him now.
Yes, he's supposed to be here.
He's supposed to be here.
Okay, so let me just put the comment. Welcome on. Welcome everyone. Please comment if you're here. Okay, so we are starting some. Please comment if you are here. I'm supposed to. Okay, so welcome my guest. Okay, so we have about 151 people joining us now.
Whoa.
About 159
Okay.
people joining us now.
Oh wow. Okay.
Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone.
Welcome
Everyone,
everyone.
welcome everyone.
Welcome.
Welcome everyone.
Welcome.
Welcome everyone. Welcome
Mm.
everyone. Yeah, we can see Ernest. Hello. Thank you. Amina Tolalaje. Hello. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you guys for joining. So let's start ASAP. Yes, so I have Christiana Adiku here and Ikram Sadiq. I just want them to introduce themselves. You know me, you just make it free. There's no pressure. Yeah, relax. We're only
Okay.
having conversations. There's no
Oh, okay.
there's no pressure of what do I want to say. Yeah, how do I want to say it? Say it as it comes. There's no pressure.
Ah,
Just do it as you want. So this is JAPA Stories episode 2, where we're diving into stories of people, where we're diving into stories of and then learn from people and see what they are doing. So let's start from Ikram. Ikram, you have the mic. Introduce yourself. Tell us everything you want us to know. How we met, what you have been doing before, how did you japa, what happened, what were your stories. I'm still going to dive in deeper, but just tell us what we want to hear as an introduction in 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. Yeah.
All right. Hello, everyone. So my name is Ikram Sadiq. I'm an architect by training. I have a bachelor's and a master's in architecture, and I'm currently in Sheffield, United Kingdom. Yes, England. I'm doing a PhD in sustainable built environment. So, if I start back from what do you call it? When I started looking into graduate school, or will I say postgraduate school and things like that. I first met D1, I think, as far back as 2021. I reached out. I think I saw him on Instagram. He was introduced to me by my brother, who knew at that time that a PhD was on the horizon for me, really. And he was like, "Okay, speak to this guy or talk to him. He's doing something good, and you should probably reach out and see how you can help you." So I reached out, I think, on Instagram. Surprisingly, my own route to D1 wasn't from Twitter. It was via Instagram. So I remember I sent him a message sometime in September saying, "Okay, this is what I want to do, and what do you call it? I'm looking graduate school, and if you could just help guide me." And so I got into there's a elite D1 mentee group, and really that's where my journey fully started. So with a PhD, like, you have, in a way, you have to know what field you want to do your researching, or what you're interested in researching and things like that. So apart from like applications, I was talking to people on the other side, people in my field, mentors, who were guiding me to kind of, okay, this is what you're good at, this is where you're interested in, this is where the research is going, or this is where the research is, and how you can build up your own proposal or your research interests and things like that. So I was doing that by one side, and I was also exploring schools and applications and things like that. But I don't know, something with me was from day one. I was looking at a program that I wouldn't have to do coursework, really, because I did a very integrated master's in Nigeria. Like it was intense coursework, and then the research, and then apart from the research, you're doing also design, which has to kind of like feed into your research. So it's really on a higher level of the typical masters. So I didn't want to do another masters like what people do in North America, for example, where you have to do like an integrated masters or something like that. And so I was looking at the US. I really wasn't looking at US at the beginning. It was more of North America, like Canada. I'd gotten a few responses from PIs saying, okay, this is a research I'm interested in, this is what you're doing. And falling back on the group, okay, this is the response I'm getting, how to better craft cold emails, things like that, which at that point when I started, I didn't really know all those things. I knew I was sending emails, but I didn't know what it was called, and I didn't know all this, the techniques that you could apply to, get a response from, a potential supervisor. So eventually I got a few responses, but funding wasn't coming. So, expanded my horizon, Australia, what do you call it? Finland. I had a lot of offers, but I wasn't getting offers for PhD. I was getting for masters because I was applying both at the same time. Because it's advised that just because in a way, like you want the educational perspective, but then you also want the JAPA aspect. So it's like getting with the masters, and then you can figure your way out around. And it got to a point where, because I'm married, so I have a husband and kids. At that time, I had 2 kids, so I was looking at where, in terms of the movement, it wasn't just me. I had to consider, my family and things like that. So I didn't want to go and do another master's, pay for it. So I was a bit hesitant, really, at a point. And eventually, things took a different direction where I was like, okay, let me focus on PhD, because really that's what I want to do, and let me keep chasing the money in the PhD. So eventually, my direction moved to the UK. I was looking at, I think at a point I realized most of the schools I was applying to in US, for example, they weren't doing the kind of research I could get into, for example. What do I mean? So in the US, the architecture programs are mainly architectural engineering based. Like that's the direction, kind of, the research. It's not just architecture. You have to really be in engineering, in things like, when you think back at secondary school, university, calculus, further maths, and things like that. And really, that's not my strong suit, because architecture is half art, half, really science, engineering kind of approach. And the research I was looking at is more of the art, social science direction. So I wasn't getting, good responses. I wrote the GRE, I flopped it badly. At that point, I think I was really at a low point, because I couldn't just imagine myself rewriting it, and things like that. So I kind of just said, okay, what's the best course of action for me? So despite me knowing that it was going to be a harder route, I started applying for other scholarships, not funding from schools and from PIs, but like government scholarships. So I went through the PTDF route. I applied for PTDF like twice. I didn't get it. I did Commonwealth, and then I think luckily for me, on the second try with Commonwealth, I got in. So I'm on a Commonwealth PhD scholarship here. And I think now, when I think in hindsight, God was really redirecting me, because really, if I had gotten a PhD scholarship that just any other scholarship, probably, don't quote me on it, but I think if you have a family, the PTDF, the Commonwealth Scholarship is one of the most robust scholarships that covers even family, because they fund your family, and things like that. And I think it was in the course after I had submitted this Commonwealth application, that was in October of 2023. Shortly after then, I found out I was pregnant pregnant again. And then I was like, okay, I think I can do this with another child on the way. So let's just see. I was like, I might not even get it, I might not even, get funding, because along the line, I was still applying for schools in Canada and North America. I had a supervisor who was even chasing me, saying, please come back. He was in, I think, what's of this school? Manitoba. He was like, oh, come back. I'm sure I'm going to get some grant next year. We can still work on it and things like that. So I was like, okay, but I won't take your word for it. I'm going to keep, applying other schools. And boom, in December, I got the root shock of my life. I found out I was carrying twins, not just one child. So I was like, Okay, oh, I might not even get Sunday, so let me just gradually continue my life, because at that point it's like there's something. So I don't know, I just had kept having this gut feeling that Ikram, this might be your year. This might be it, because for me, I think all my life, with everything that's happened, school life, it's like whenever something big happens, it comes with an extra layer of difficulty for me. Like there's always that extra test. So I was like, God, what is, it's like I felt there was something coming. And lo and behold, I gave birth on the exactly 1 year ago today, on the 14th of June 2024. I had my twin boys, and that was on a Friday. Monday
Wow.
morning, I had been discharged from the hospital, got home, settled in bed, and boom, I saw an email. You know how you just check your phone? Okay, I'm now on leave. Let me just check and see if there's any work email so that I can redirect it to the right channel and start enjoying my break. And I just saw, congratulations, you've been shortlisted. I was like, God, what kind of, you know? I was like, I didn't even know whether to be happy or to be, I was scared. The first thing that came out of my husband's mouth when I ran to tell him was, and now you're going. Like there's no two ways about it. We are moving. Like you can't. After all you've been through, all the day I submit, the day I went for the Commonwealth, the PTD, the Commonwealth interview, my car was stolen with all my credentials inside. Like so many things had
Wow.
happened. I had suffered so many tests. Like I was like, he was like, see, you've given this thing a lot. You've lost a lot. So let's just look at how we can work around it. Like, and we left Nigeria in October of 2024 with I came here with 4-month-old twins. And God has been faithful. People, God has put people in my life here that they've helped. They've gone over and beyond. Like you, like really, like you're helping me like this. People you never expect, Nigerians, foreigners, and things like that. So it's been a tough but very fulfilling and really, I think, enjoyable journey for me the past 8 to 9 months, will I say. And the PhD is finally taking off, or it has taken off. And I think I've also been blessed with, I don't want to jinx it, but one of the best supervisors on earth. He's very understanding, very like he just makes everything easy in my life. There's no pressure. There's always we're in it together, and things like that. So, and really, with a PhD program, you don't want supervisor issues. Dr. Dio
Mm.
can, he's being on that journey and things like that. So, is one extra headache that if you don't have, you should really thank God. So, I think that's been my journey so
Mm.
far. A lot of ups and downs, and I remember one key thing that stuck with me or sticks with me till date is on the group when people talk about oh, they will announce somebody has gotten the visa, somebody has gotten funding. And in my mind, in my head, I played over different scenarios of how I announce my own. Like, in fact, I was just like, okay, this person sent it to D1, this person announced it themselves. Me, this is how I'm going to do my own, things like that. So I think believing in it will come through. Like, it's very, very, it's one of the hardest things to actually imagine that, you're seeing other people getting it. When is it going to be my own turn? And things like that.
Mm.
And eventually, when it clicks, it's like you don't forget, but it dims everything that has happened, all the heartbreaks, all the. There was a point where my husband was like, "See, it's either you stop applying because with every heartache, with every I'm sorry, I cannot take you, or with every breakfast I was dashed or was, shoved my way, it was like, this is not good for your mental health, but I will still go back. I will not learn my lesson."
Mm.
And eventually
Mm.
it worked out. So it's really a it's one of those things that you have to really commit, strive, because nothing good comes easy. And eventually when it's when it comes together, you kind of just forget all the things. Is when you're talking about it now that you remember, I went through this, I went through this. But it's really a wonderful journey. It's been a wonderful journey. Yeah, thank you.
Mm.
What do you do you want?
That you had to um okay, yes, I'm here. I said I was enjoying the story, especially the fact that it was when you were in the hospital. of scholarship came, that Bele came. So it was. I remember the story. I remember when you were still looking for. I think you wrote GRE. I told you don't give up. Yes, and none of that. So that I like the fact that you are really consistent and resilient. I like that about you. You are really resilient. Despite having children, having a family, you still told me that you want to do it. I remember when you come, you run to my DM, and I say, "Calm down, no worry, you cannot die." But thank God, I mean, this is you today. It's really nice,
Yeah.
having that you are the one telling people that, yes. So we have another episode of graduate moms and graduate schools.
Moms.
I don't know if you saw it. Maybe we invite you to, where we
Oh,
are
okay.
bringing like six or seven, where we
Yes.
are bringing 6 or 7 women who have children. It's
Mm-hmm.
another entire conversation again, how they are coping academics with family, with children,
Yeah.
and I know that, yes. So, but let me allow you chill small because I had like 10 questions in my head from what you have said. But let me allow you chill. Let's go
All
back
right.
to Christiana. Yeah, Christiana, back to you. Yes. So tell us your story. We have about 800 persons watching us live now.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, you, they want to hear from your stories. I mean, break it down step by step. What happened? How did you? What were you doing before? How did you meet me? How did the story? I know the two of us know the story, but I mean, the, the aim is that people be able to get ginger and get support and get
Yes.
encouraged. You
Yes.
know,
Yes. Yes.
we encourage
Yes.
ourselves in the group, but we are bringing that
Yes.
encouragement outside to people. That's why
Yes.
we're having this session. Yes, back to you, Christiana.
Okay. Thank you very much. It's really an honor to be here on this side. It's really an honor to be here. And Ikram, I'm genuinely inspired by your story because I'm
Yeah.
trying to imagine like I'm single, I don't have any responsibilities, and it's still tough. So I really don't know how you're coping with 4 kids, but I really salute your strength. Honestly, you're a strong woman. I give it to
Thank you.
you. Yeah, so hello everyone. I'm Christiana. I'm currently in Germany. I'm doing a master's in global logistics at Frankfurt University of Applied Science. Oh, so where do I start from? Where do I start from? So, okay. I'm a Unilag dropout. So yeah, I started my master's in Unilag 2018 in transport planning and management. So it was a part-time program where I had to combine it with the with work. But I couldn't finish, and that was because I needed something more. So, for my bachelor's, I studied transport management, which wasn't what I really wanted to do initially. I wanted to study engineering, but yeah, I fell short of some marks. So it's like, oh, okay, this is the course
Yeah.
that is available, so you have to. And so
Good.
I did it with the hopes of switching back, but I failed maths. I failed maths 101, and so yeah, I couldn't switch. So it's a thing of, okay, so this is what you're faced with, and we were the second set for in my school. We're the second set, so there was really nobody who had studied the course, and like who could really guide you. So most of the time, you had to find your feet and all that, and I didn't understand or have a grasp of the course till I did my IT at the international airport, where I was able to get that's Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos, and that was where I was able to actually see the possibilities of what my course entails, And so for the masters, it's like, okay, let me still deep dive into what this course is all about, but it wasn't what I needed. It wasn't really giving me what I wanted. Everything was still like theoretical. Meanwhile, transportation logistics is a very practical course. These are things that we use every day. We use transportation every day, bus, planes, But everything is still boiling down to like what the textbook says, And I'm like, no, this master's in Unilag is not for me. So I had to drop it in 2019. And then 2019, that was where my JAPA journey started. So I hadn't met D1 by then, so I was freestyling, doing what I checking online, to see to get samples of statement of purpose, CV, just arrange it, and I was submitting one application, one SOP to all the schools. So I was looking at the UK and Canada at the time. And it was funny enough, I didn't have my passport as at early 2019. I didn't have a passport. So I was just like trying to test the waters to see how it goes. And then probably if I get an admission, then um I can process a passport and then like continue. But I mean, it continued like that. 2019, UK and Canada, I didn't get it. I also applied to Chevening and Commonwealth. It was also rejections. Yeah, and that was how it was from 2019 to 2021, where I met D1 in 2021. And so prior to meeting D1, I saw a post on Facebook where someone encouraged us to pay for value. Like if someone is offering value, it's worth it to pay. And then I come on Twitter and then I see D1's post talking about mentorship and all that. And then I think that time there was really like a something about like paying for mentorship, like something you got free, you're charging. I think there was something like that. That Twitter argument. I don't know if you can remember, boss. But when I reached out to you, I told you I wasn't really even earning well at the time. I was earning like 50,000 at the time. I told you that I really want to be part of your mentorship program, and this is what I'm earning. And could you please, could you please give me a discount? I really want to, be mentored and stuff. And yeah, he actually agreed to give me a discount, and then I joined the group. And that was really the turning point for me. That was really, really where I understood or saw all my mistakes that I've been doing rubbish for the past 2 years. Like I haven't done anything, because on the group, you write your statement of purpose, from your CV first. There are people to always vet, to give you their opinions and all that. And then there's also your statement of purpose. There are also people to vet and then give you feedback, and then you work on it like that till it becomes perfect. So from there, joining the group was like a turning point. That's where I was getting like, I got admissions, but I didn't get funding. And it's like I can't move anywhere without funding. I know where I'm coming from. So yeah, I really, really needed the funding at the time. So I think I started applying to US. Yeah, US and Canada too as well. So I wasn't even looking at Europe or any European country until D1 actually said on the group, like, not everyone has to end up in Canada and US or UK. So we should start looking at other European countries. We should start looking at other Asian countries, even about the MEX scholarship in Japan and others. So yeah, and that's where I started looking towards like Germany, Finland, Sweden. Yeah. So but I applied to those, and then I didn't get in. There was also no like I didn't get, it was rejections, breakfast, and then for Germany, I applied to so I applied to my school, Frankfurt University of Applied Science, and then I applied to some private universities offering logistics or transport courses. Yeah, so the admission was given to me, but I still needed to fund myself. So it's like, okay. So for Germany, the thing is the schools are tuition free, but you also need to have a block account or a sponsorship, or yeah, like someone to write a sponsorship letter for you here in Germany. So that's like proof that there's someone to take care of you and all that. So okay, now there's one less problem, that there's no tuition fee, but I have to take care of my expenses and all that. So for my school, so for yeah, I applied to my school, that's Frankfurt University of Applied Science, and I got in, but there was no scholarship. And then immigration, issues started getting more complex. So the wait time increased to get a visa interview at the German embassy. So it's more like it started from 3 months, 3 months to 8 months, 8 months to 12 months, like that, then to 18, till now we are currently in almost like 2 years. So yeah,
Wow.
the yeah, the waiting time for visa kept moving.
Hmm.
So the only exception is if you're going for a PhD or you have a scholarship or you graduated with a first class in 2 years. That's the last 2 years. So it's like, okay, I have to still get a scholarship. So I applied to my school, and as at the time that I wanted to apply for this scholarship, yeah, okay, as at the time I wanted to apply for the scholarship, that was in, okay, so scholarship was to open in, I got the admission in July, and then scholarship was to open in September. So but before everything, before the scholarship decision would be made, like classes would have passed, and then there are some courses that, I don't know, you cannot do first semester once it reaches like November, so you have to. So I was not really properly informed, so I just forfeited that. I
The
forfeited that
scholarship.
year. That was 2023. Then, sorry, 2022. Then 2023, I didn't know about the scholarship until the deadline. That was the day after the deadline. So they moved the scholarship backwards. So scholarship used to open in September, but they moved it to May. And then I got to find out in June that the scholarship had passed. So I actually put in to wait for the visa for the category. So okay, so Germany has category A and category B. So category B is the one that has to wait for longer years or longer period. And that's what I did. I put in my application, but there was no call for interview. And so I said I'm not going to move to, I'm giving up on Germany. I'm not doing Germany again. So I started applying to the US again. I started joining. So I started applying to the US again. I got two scholarships, but it was partial scholarship. So I got a 40% at University of, I got 60% at Bowling Green University, and then I got 40% at, I don't know, I cannot remember the name of the university again, but both in the US. But the thing is that the deposit or what was remaining, I couldn't still afford it, and all that.
Yep.
Even like trying to get the money and all that. So I'm like, okay, since I'm not going to the US, let me apply to Germany again. So I applied to this my school and tried to follow up with the scholarship applications and all that. And then yeah, so that was how I got the scholarship. Funny enough, I got my scholarship before I got my admission to the university. And so it is a partial scholarship. So it's a Deutschland stipendium. It's called the Deutschland stipendium, which is sponsored. Part is sponsored by the government, German government, and then part is sponsored by private companies, individuals, and all that. So getting the scholarship, I don't know, by the grace of God, my parents, like, oh, they can't allow the scholarship to waste and all that, because even,
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
the scholarship, you still need to show proof that you have the remaining. So even with a partial scholarship, you still have to show proof that you have the remaining money blocked, or you can still go with the sponsorship route.
Yes. Yes.
Sponsorship route. Yeah. So my parents are like, oh, no, 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 this cannot waste. So before you know anything, I think 3 days to my visa interview, because I was thinking I was going to be able to get a sponsorship letter from someone working here in Germany, but it didn't work out. So we had to,
Mm.
like, 3 days before the visa interview, we had to raise money. I think we had to raise like 7.8 million at the time. Yeah,
Wow.
so yeah,
That's
we
a
had to
lot.
raise for 8 million. So yeah, so I was able to, from my I was saving, but like close to what, 1 million or something. So yeah, that one came from me. Then my parents brought theirs. Then I had an uncle who just, like, we were just casually gisting, and then he said, Like, is there anything I really need now and all that? And I was like, oh, this no, he okay, sorry, he talked to my mom and he was like, ah, so my mom told him what is happening and all that. And then he's like, I've never asked him for anything before, so he would be willing to give me the remaining, and the remaining was like 3 million. So he gave the 3 million, and then he gave me flight money and told me to,
Mhm.
yeah. So he gave me 4 million equivalent. So yeah, and that was it. I was able to come here. Luckily, I told me to use the money. I, so instead of paying back, I used it, which was really very helpful because
Mm.
because the plan was I would come here, work, and then send back the money. Because what they made us to believe is like when you come to
And send the
Germany,
money.
you will see work immediately. Oh my god. You will be shocked. Nothing is waiting for you in this country. Yeah, so like that money he gave to me made me to settle. I was able to settle well and all that. And then I have another scholarship now, so I have two scholarships. So
Wow.
yeah. What else? I don't know. I think as questions continue, I would I would answer
Okay.
questions. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry, D1,
Okay.
before
Thank you very much. So let me. Uh,
dive into the questions, I just want to follow up on something that Christiana said.
Okay.
So I remember I also paid in installments to join the group. Because I looked at it, I was like, I think, okay, I don't want to mention how much it was back then because I don't know how much it is now. So let me just keep quiet. But I remember I asked for like, okay, Oga, this is what I earn. I also told him this is what I earn, and this is what I can afford on a monthly basis. So let me pay you twice or three times. Like, okay, if you like pay 5 times, stuff, that's your business. But just so that if you enter this group, you walk. Because I
Yeah.
think the mindset for a lot of people is because, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I gave something, so I'll
Mm-hmm.
just fold my arms
Mm-hmm.
and people will do work for me.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
My
You're right.
life, you are in for a root shock. So
You.
that was
Yeah.
like, yeah, pay, you enter. If you don't work, I kick you out, that kind of thing. And so I was like, okay, this guy really means business. It's not just the money. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was, I remember that also now. Thank you.
thank you very much. So, guys, I mean, it's JAPA stories. We are not here to, say so. It's just stories, and then
Yeah.
from people's stories, you guys can ask questions and all of that. Ikram,
Okay.
I want to. How are you coping with family? Because you had two children before, right? And then you got Commonwealth Scholarship PhD in UK,
Mm.
and then you discover that you are with twins again. Those twins are 1 year old today. How are you coping with them in UK? Because I know that schooling in UK, taking children to school in UK is very expensive. Unlike here in Canada, where government subsidize everything. How are you
Mm-hmm.
coping? My own immediate brother is in UK, so I know.
Yeah. Okay. So, um, where do I even start from? Okay. So, right, as I said, as soon as I got that email, because all along I'm from the north, so it's very atypical
Mhm.
for you to find a man who is willing to like push you, support you. So I'm trying to just give you a background of
Ah,
the kind
yeah.
of family I have. And
Okay.
whether like when I
Okay.
say family, like my husband on one side and my parents on one side. So like they're the propellers, like move, 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 move. You have to move. You have to like this. I remember my husband telling me when he first wanted to marry me, his brother actually told him that this girl you want to marry comes from, working class kind of family. Like her people go to school.
Yeah.
My mom works. Like my mom has
Oh.
worked. Like my parents, my immediate extended family, everybody like is educated. Like school is non-negotiable. So
Okay.
it
So
was like
you guys are not the typical northerners that we the
that's not like
southerners
yes,
see.
yes. So my husband was like, he was like, "Are you sure you want to go for this girl so that you don't come and truncate her life?" Like he was trying to, I think, probably point it out
Mm,
to him that if you've not figured it out, me than your older brother, who is like your father figure, this is what I'm saying. And he was like, yes, I'm aware of it. And from day one, when I married my husband, I was in my master's. He would literally go and drop me in Zaria. I was in ABU with his car and take a public transport and go back and okay, be in school and things like that. So
wow.
I finished NYSC. He was there on like carrying my bag up and down. We finish job, looked for job together. Like so. He has always been that. What do you want? I say this. He will find it. If it means for him to go to mass, he will figure
Mm,
it out. He's that kind of person.
mm,
So when I first started saying,
mm,
"Oh, I want to go for PhD, I want to JAPA and things like that," my parents were like, "Is your husband on board?" And I was like, "Yes." Now, like, he's the least of my problems. Like, he's not even a problem. He's not even somebody that I will have to bother about convincing or something like that. So they were like, "Okay, that's fine." And I remember like immediately I saw the email. I was sitting on the bed. I had CS, so I had
mm.
stitches, and you can't just start running around. So I screamed my mom's name, and she came. She's like, "What's happening?" I was like, "Ah, see what I'm seeing. I just saw email because my husband has stepped out of the house," and she was like, "Okay." That kind of initial shock that is really happening. And then my husband came back and she was like, "Okay, go and talk to your husband." And I went because I was in my parents' house, and I went and he was like, "We're packing our bags.
Mhm.
In fact, what's the timeline? When do you have to do this?" I was like, "Calm down. I just had twins. Like, you forgotten. Like, look at them. They're here." It's not. He was like, "What is it going to take? We'll make it work," and things like that. And
Mm,
immediately my parents heard that, they
mm,
were like, "You have 100% support." So as I said, my parents are on the left and my husband is on the right. I wouldn't have tried it if I had a different set of people behind me, really. My extended family, even I remember one of my uncles, my father's younger brother, when because he knew I was, following up on the scholarship, he would always be like, "What's happening? How far have you heard back from the Commonwealth?" I was like, I'm still waiting. So there were people in my life that knew this is what I'm pursuing. For me, it was never hidden, really, because I know that people that do this kind of applications, or they're looking for graduate school and they're trying to Japan, and is like a coveted thing. For me, like my family, not like everybody, but to a certain degree, certain people were in the picture, and they were always supporting with words, with advice, with, "Okay, go and talk to this person, do this scholarship is coming out, apply for it," and things like that. So when my uncle heard, he was like, "She's not the first person to have children and go to school." So it's not even like there was never an iota of "you can't do it." Nobody in my immediate cycle. And one thing I remember
mm,
I vividly did was I blocked my ears to friends in particular, or associates that would be like, "Ha, you guy," because there was a particular person I remember, she's my husband's colleague, or is he, we're kind of like friends with her, and she knows my husband. I didn't tell her we're traveling till we got here, and we had settled, and she had, and there was that like, Ikram, you didn't tell me. I was like, I then later told my husband that one of the reasons why I didn't tell this lady was I know how she thinks and I know what she would say. Those kind of people like, "Are you crazy? How can you even try this?" All those kind of things. So to protect my mental health, I knew was going to be the most difficult thing I was going to do in my life. So I didn't even want any naysayers in my ears. And really, as I said, everybody around me, nobody said you can't do it. Everybody was like, "Yes, if anybody can do it, it's you, Ikram." A friend in university used to call me Bugatti.
mm.
Not to blow my own trumpet, but my classmates used to call me
What?
Bugatti because,
Yeah.
because they said I had 8 engines, that the way I function, how ladies are always like, "Oh, you're waiting for a guy to help you," not to stereotype, for example, but there's that
I
mentality in
get.
university.
I get. I get.
Someone to do assignment for you, a guy. I was one that was like, "Please shift." If we're in a group to do assignment, they're like, Ikram is there, she'll do it for us.
Yeah.
I was the most intelligent person, but
Mm,
there's nothing that I set my mind on. I can So even now for me, it's like, yes, 4 kids, and so I don't look at it as it's difficult. I live it every day. I wake up every day tired, exhausted, but I'm like, looking at the positive is a blessing. I know there are millions of people that could kill to be in my sport, that will give anything to be in my
mm,
my situation. And for me, I believe God, nothing happens just like that. God has a reason for putting this extra hardship, because in my mind, as I told you, when I was applying, I was already visualizing what I'm going to write and say on the group, that, "Oh, God has finally answered my prayer." I'm visualizing my graduation with the twins, my husband, my parents,
Nice.
and for me,
mm.
that's just what keeps me going. And right now, my mom is here. She
Oh.
came to visit us because my husband had to travel back to Nigeria for a while. And I can see how everybody is pulling resources. I don't even want to go into how much we spent to bring everybody here. That's
Mm.
another topic entirely.
Omo, omo, it's a lot.
It's
So
a lot,
UK, hey.
you know, and everybody is like, what do you need? My sister stopped her school for 1 semester to come and stay with me with the kids. She like deferred her school back in Nigeria. So you can see how everybody is making efforts. My brother is in Turkey. He's calling me. What do you need? Do you have enough money for childcare this week? You know, everybody is pulling. Nobody is saying,
Mm,
"Ha, Ikram, you dragged us into this wahala." Who asked you?
mm,
Nobody has ever said that.
mm,
And for me, really, that's what keeps like. There was a day I was I was crying to my mom on the phone. Like I think something we were planning did not work. I was like, ah, who even asked me? Me, I'm tired. Maybe I should just pack my bags and come back. And she was like, pack which bag?
Yeah.
It's not you that is doing PhD. It's your father, is your mother, is your brother, is your all of us are doing that PhD, and all of us are investing because what do you call it? Like we know you can do it. Nobody would have probably backed you up if we knew it was somebody else. So really, I think
mm,
is that support, and then you as a person, you have to sacrifice. Is as I said, is the most difficult thing. I look at myself
mm,
and I'm like, how did I even survive yesterday? Okay, today we have survived afternoon. Okay, in the night, this is what we're going. Like, so is you I'm just taking it day by day. And I look back
mm.
and I'm like, oh, we've been here for 8 months. And where did all the time go to? And really, God has put people in our path. So I had this I had this supervisor in a different university within Sheffield who I had worked with when I was applying. Like I had gotten him to be like, oh, I want to supervise you, but he didn't have funding. And
Mhm,
eventually I got the scholarship with a different school, all in Sheffield. So when
mhm,
I first, it was was a very difficult thing for me to actually call him and tell him that, see, I'm coming to Sheffield, I'm going to be in your city, but I'm not even going to be working with you, right? And it took me coming here and even settling, I think over a month. And one day I was like, Ikram, call this man or send him an email because it would be really, you know, not nice to just meet him on the way. Anything can happen. Like, you can just meet up or within the academia cycle. We're in the same field. So it's
yeah,
very possible to go for a conference and just meet up or things like that. So I called him and I told him I'm in Sheffield and this was
yeah.
happening. And he was genuinely happy for me. If I tell you today he's helping me with school runs, you won't believe it.
Nice.
You know, I just saw his
Mm,
message earlier today that we should talk later today to arrange school runs. So people are helping. Like God is putting people in the hardship. There is ease. For me, there's a verse in the Quran.
mm,
Hardship. There is ease in it. So I look at it. I look at my children are living. My daughter is the most excited person to be here. She's her like the opportunities she's getting. My son, who is special needs, is getting care that I'm not paying for. If I was in, like, I know what we're paying in Nigeria for him to do therapy and things like that, and he's
yeah,
getting it here. So I'm looking at all the positives, and as a parent or as the person that put myself in this situation, because I'm looking at the bigger picture of JAPA or whatnot, this is
yep.
the pain I have to endure for now. It's
Mm,
I won't miss what is difficult. I remember when I was in masters, I was alone, I was single. I know how I felt like. I said, this is the hardest thing I'm doing. But then now you're doing a higher level hard. And I met somebody that has 9 children here that did
Wow.
PhD. And I'm
nine,
like,
Wow.
yes. So you're like,
children doing PhD.
yes. So
Jeez.
Wow.
no, she has finished though. It's not like she's doing it now. She has finished.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
she had her kids all here. She
Nine.
went to uni here. I think she came to the UK as a new bride from one African country. I don't want to put her on the spotlight. So she had all her kids here. Her kids are even in university right now. So it's been a long time. But she's one of the people that like move. If anybody can do this, you can do it. See me. And then I think there were two of my professors. They taught me university, but I was working with them before I came to the UK. And one of them, I still remember the day that I went to do my farewells with her because we're really close. She taught me. She was my lecturer in university, and we became colleagues eventually. And she was talking to me. She was like, "Ikram, you're embarking on the hardest thing." And as she was saying it, because she did PhD with 2 kids and had a third one when she was writing up in her final year, as she was talking to me, this woman was crying. She was cheering up. She was like, she's remembering what she went through and it's making her cry. So she was like, get ready. You're not going there to go and sleep. You're not going there to raise your legs and enjoy. This is going to be a phase that is going to be difficult, as I said, but eventually you look back and you realize that, you did it, and there's nothing sweeter than that. So for me, I'm like, when I say it, everybody's like, it's hard. Yes, it's hard, but God, family, prayers, and
Yeah.
I wouldn't advise anybody to try this really if you don't have supportive parents or family or anybody around you, because you can run mad. You can run mad. So, but God has been faithful. I keep telling myself that I prayed for this, so I will wake up in the middle of the night, perform ablution, pray to God. God, please answer my prayers. God has answered your prayers, and you're here now. So what can
You're
you
not
do?
complaining.
Yeah. So but the typical human being, you think, and I think I noted something like when we're talking when Christiana was talking earlier, that the scholarship journey, whether you want to fund it or you want to get funding, whatever, is difficult. God, like, curve balls will be thrown at you. You get scholarship, you get admission, be like, yes, everything is sorted. Then funding will now refuse to come. Eventually get the funding, then you now realize, visa fees or traveling or settling fees or whatever. A lot of things that you probably did not think of when you were doing all the planning. And you keep surmounting those things. So for me, it's like, I remember the day that I calculated how much it would cost me to move my husband and my 4 children. I couldn't sleep that night. I did not sleep. I sat down, I was just thinking, where is this money going to come from? And my husband was like, because my husband is, I don't even know, nothing shakes him. He's like, God is that he put this in your lap. You figure it out, like, sleep. He woke up and he met me. I was like, what are you doing? I was like, we need this money. We're going to pay for IHS. We're going to pay for this. He said, and so sleep. Why you? I said, no, I'm thinking I need to talk to this person to lend us this amount. He was like, you can do all of this in the morning. I was like, this man, you don't understand what's happening. And he was like, just calm down. Everything will work out. Like, it will be sorted out. And really, if I look back at how everything played out, I'm like, God, you're really God. Because no
I mean,
human can do
yes,
this.
I think that your with what we have said so far, everybody understands where you are going. Your family knows you,
Yeah.
and then you yourself, you are convinced about where you want to go.
Mm.
It's as simple as that.
Mm.
With or without children, with or without family, you will still be here.
Yes.
That's what I've seen from what you have said so far.
Mm.
With without family, with without children, you will still be here. And
Yeah.
I see that it's something that has been from our chat so far. I have seen that this is what you are. That was why I was encouraging you those times when you were getting a lot of shaggy. I said, don't worry, try again. I remember you tried for about 2 or 3 years, if I
Yeah, I
remember.
wrote GRE
And I told you,
twice.
yes, I told you, I remember that
You know,
story
the
that
second one I got like I think 300 plus, so I could have gotten probably admission with it, but eventually then I think my site had been I had gotten the Commonwealth scholarship, so I just left it. But as you said, yes, really, you as a person, you have to build yourself. Nobody is going to
you
like.
have to.
Do you want you say this on the group? Getting the funding, getting the scholarship is the beginning of
It's
your
the
journey.
beginning. It's the beginning.
Yep.
It's the beginning of the journey. You never
It's
see
the
anything.
beginning.
When people used to say it on the group, I'm like, these
Oh
people
my
are not serious. Do they even know what I'm going through right now?
god.
You don't know how many cold emails I've written. They don't know anything. Why are they saying that I've not started? But when you get you start seeing what's happening. Like, really, this is the beginning.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, thank you so much. So we have about 1,600 people watching us live now.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
so I'm glad that a lot of people will be inspired by your story, especially people who have families, people who have kids,
Yes.
who are scared of dreaming. I think
Yeah.
if they are listening to us, they can be like, if Ikram can do it, I mean, I can do. Some people when they give birth, every of their dreams shuts up,
Mm.
especially for African women.
Mm.
Whenever they give birth, they will turn all their attention to the children.
Children.
And I said something. I said, even if you use your whole life to take care of your children, if you refuse to grow, your children will be grateful and take care of you, but they will never be proud of you. it is the reality. It is the truth. People don't want to accept the truth. So it's important that you are also fulfilling your dreams as you
Yeah.
bring people back. So let me allow you to speak. Crystal, back to you. I
Mhm.
remember that. I remember all the shege that you saw, coming to Germany, and I remember that time in the group when I said everybody will not get scholarship. Try other countries. I didn't even know you were trying other countries after I made that statement in the group then. And I know somebody is even asking me, how do I join the group? Just chat our JAPA consult team. Those of you that know me, there is go to my page on Twitter, you have a WhatsApp number, they chat them. I used to be the one to handle it before, but now I know they do it again. I can't do
Boss,
that again.
boss,
So,
doctor.
I know they do it again. So we have a customer. We have our customer service who will start. Just tell them you want to join the group, and then you'll be inspired. So I remember, Christiana, when we are having that conversation, I remember all of those things. So what would you say has been your experience in Germany as somebody coming in Germany? Because I think somebody even asked that question. Let me see if I can pull it out here.
Okay,
Yes, part of it was scaling the German language test if you need to
okay,
write it.
okay,
And then how did you cope in Germany? And what advice will you give to people coming to Germany?
okay, okay. So first of all, my course is in English language. So yeah, I had to. I wrote. Funny enough, I wrote TOEFL because as at the time I was applying to US, when I messaged the one and I told him about my plans, he told me that I'm not serious. I don't have a GRE. I don't have a, what am I doing? Yeah, so I had to write a TOEFL at the time. Yeah, but I didn't need it. I didn't have to use it. So because he's always saying it's better for you to have it
mhm.
and not need it than for you to need it and not have it. So yeah, he's always saying that. And then I wrote TOEFL, but I didn't have
Yep.
to use it. So for Germany, in schools where you need English is the language of instruction, you can get a letter from your university confirming that all your courses were in English language. So
Mm.
it's usually available for a fee which you would pay, and then it's signed. So yeah, that was what I used. I used a letter from the university confirming that the language of instruction in my school was English language. So um, about coping in Germany. So I must state that one of the best decision I made was leaving Nigeria, to be honest, because this is one of the best experience of my life for my career, for my personal development as a
Mm.
person. This is really one of the best decisions that I made because here you get to see, like, you get inspired by people younger than you doing really great things. Like, I'm always, people here inspire me. Like, you see how you ask how old are you, 22, and like the person has done a lot of things that I mean, when I was 22, I don't know if I've even finished my undergraduate as at then. So yeah, it's really, really meeting people like the people here that I've met. It's really inspiring. The course here too, I got what I wanted. I wanted something practical, and that's what I got. The courses are practical. Germany is the logistics industry in Germany is very, very strong, and that was actually one of my motivations for coming here. So it's practical. All our professors are industry. They are industry. They work with industry. They work in
Mhm.
actual companies. So nobody is coming to tell you stories from the book. Like, they come to tell you what it is they've worked with, what it is they've seen. Funny enough, you even get to see what you even learn. So you're not learning. It's not an abstract concept that is in the textbook.
Hmm.
So for the language, I would advise though that anyone who wishes to come to Germany, you should learn the German language from Nigeria. It would really, really help and then set the tone for you coming here. Because I didn't learn any language in Nigeria, and currently now it's really difficult, like trying to learn the language. I'm not going to lie to you. It's really, really very difficult. I can cope here. I can survive here because I'm in a very international city where English is spoken everywhere, and you can see like a lot of internationals. So I'm able to cope. But in areas where like German is the predominant language there, I'm usually always lost because once they say something, you don't even know, like you're just lost and clueless. So I would advise that anyone coming to, or someone who has plans of coming to the country, to this country, start the language um from Nigeria. Then it sets the tone for you, it makes it easier for you to start and then continue here. So yeah, then what else again? That's
So
basically
someone
it.
is asking, can one move with
No.
can one move to Germany with dependents as a master student?
Nine, you cannot move. Yeah. So if you come here, you have to do like a family reunion,
So
which has to take the grace of God. Which has to take the grace of God. Because I know someone waiting for like 6 years now for his wife to join him.
Hey
Yeah.
God.
For his wife to join
um,
him here.
6 years.
So yeah, some people, so
6 years.
6 years, I promise you.
That's doctor now.
So for
A
some
lot.
people it takes, it's shorter, for some it's really really a very long process. So I think it would be easier if you come here via job, like to get it, like when you get a job, it's easier here to bring in your family than like as than as a student. Yeah. So yeah, and also another thing,
Okay. Thank you. So, but I think that
another thing I just thought about.
yeah, continue,
Hello.
continue.
Yeah, so I don't know if there are people who are undergraduates here. So if you're
You
an
can continue,
undergraduate,
continue.
you're really, really very lucky that you're hearing this. So I would really just advise that you probably get your passport and then apply online, because right now it takes, without a scholarship or without PhD, it takes 2 years for you to get a visa date, appointment date. So while you're waiting for 2 years, while you're
Exactly.
waiting for graduation, just put your application there and forget about it. Yeah, I think it would really really help a lot. Starting early really helps. Even getting scholarship opportunities after graduation, I think is very much more easier than for people who have been out of school for a long time. So from 5 to 5 years, is it above or below 5 years after graduation? Yeah, so once when it's easier to get a scholarship. So I don't, getting information early, starting early also helps if you're interested in coming to Germany, because it's a very wonderful country. It's an amazing country, to be honest. Like, it's, aside from the language, it's really really a very very cool company, cool country, not company, sorry. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Somebody say that. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Christiana?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. So let me go back to Ikram. Ikram, so
Yes.
you said that you are on fully funded scholarship.
Yes.
And I know that Commonwealth scholarship for UK is a lot. I know they pay you guys a lot. You became on, I know that one.
Out.
So yes, I know. I
New
know that
one.
one. So so does that money also cater for you bring let me talk now. Wait now.
Okay.
So so does that money also cater for your family, bringing them, because you said that your husband is back in Nigeria, you said you brought your sister. Does that money cater for all of those expenses, or you have to source for extra for people looking at for Commonwealth scholarship for PhD in
Okay.
UK?
Yes. So to answer your question, no, it doesn't cover for all those people. So what Commonwealth gives you is Commonwealth funds your own visa, your IHS, your trip, your
Mm-hmm,
coming, your settling. They
mm-hmm.
will pay you for all of those things. They will pay you even for your TB test that you did in Nigeria. Because you're supposed to do, like, Nigeria is one of those countries that you have to do a TB test before you apply for, I think, the study visa, because of the duration you're staying in the UK. So they will pay you for all of those things, but to fund you bringing your family to the UK, they will
Mm-hmm.
not fund that. So you have to find your way of transporting however number of family members, that's like your husband and your children, your immediate family. My sister came funded, like, personally. She didn't come here, like, she wasn't funded by the Commonwealth. I was the one like, my family, we were the ones who got her here. She already had her visa anyways, because she's been here for a visit and here and there, so she had a visa. It was just to get her ticket and for her to come with us. Because when I came in with my husband and the twins and my sister, you know traveling with you alone, self, when you're moving abroad with all the luggage and everything. So my sister came to help us, with the twins on the flight and things like that, and to settle. And then she went back after some months. So one critical thing also, I think a lot of people don't pay attention to, especially the UK, is they won't give you a visa for your children if your husband is not applying, except if you are showing evidence that you're a single parent, or you are, like, whether by divorce or separation or death, maybe your partner or your spouse is no more in the picture. That's the only way you can get a visa without your spouse for your children. So it's a very dicey thing. My husband is here. It's not like he's back in Nigeria. He's here with us, but he had to travel to Nigeria to sort some business stuff, and he's coming back. So in that meantime, because it was around the corner for Eid celebration and things like that, my mom has a visa, so she was like, "Okay, let me come and visit you." Um, it's very, as I said, like, I'll go back to what I said earlier, that I'm in a very privileged situation. I don't deny it.
Your case is unique. Your
Yes,
case is unique actually.
I don't deny
This is
it.
the
Like,
first this is the first time I'll see your kind of case.
yes,
You are
you
really,
know,
really, really blessed and
yes,
privileged.
and that's one of the things that, even when I was accepting to come, that was one of the things that my parents were like, "We're here to support you financially, emotionally, spiritually, whatever way you want." So I know there is that, and other people don't have that. And for me, it was like, God has blessed me
Yes,
to
I
be in
agree
this
with you.
position. So for me to be, and one critical thing
Mm.
was, Commonwealth said, if you defer, you lose your spot, because they
Oh,
have to fund a
yeah.
certain number
Yes,
of
so
people every year. That's one critical thing, because people kept asking me, "Oh, Ikra,
yes,
why
so
didn't you defer? Why
yes,
didn't
so
you defer?" I couldn't defer. I had to just accept it on the spot, or they will give somebody my slot. So that was one
or,
of the reasons why we were
or
like, okay,
move.
we just, yeah, to move.
Mm.
So, as I said, privileged background. My parents are really helping. You asked earlier with childcare. Um, there's a lot of personal funding also going to it. Apart from that, Christiana, you've said it, jappering and settling abroad is expensive. Even if you have a scholarship behind you, it's expensive. A lot of people think, "Oh, I will come here," as you said, "I will get a job maybe the following day." Some people even think they're in the airport, they're waiting for you to give you job, come and select. It's not like that. Their jobs quite all right, but you have to, with everything, you have to put effort. Even if it's just to sit down, craft your CV in the format that that country uses, is effort. So you have to put in effort, you have to apply one or two things, you have to consider logistics. My husband came, he was getting jobs in different towns, we're in a different city. Will he take that job? What is the commute? There are many things to consider. You won't just, it's not like the job is just there waiting for you. So it's there's funding for Commonwealth. So if back to that question, if you eventually get here with your family, Commonwealth pays you for your family also. There's a certain allowance that goes to your husband, but they only fund 3 children. So my case where I have 4.
You get money, Ikra. You get money. You
Yeah.
get money. This woman.
Spend it.
I don't have money.
Spend it.
Money. Oh. So really, and I think D1, that was one of the reasons why, one of the things that I was looking out for when I was looking at scholarship, because I know my situation is unique, even with 2 children and a partner. If you're only getting that funding that comes from your supervisor, you still have to augment heavily, right? Your kids, like, they'll tell you, like,
Yeah.
for example, now in UK, your children go to school free, like, everything is free. But there are a lot of little expenses. Oh, they're going on trip, you pay for this. Oh, they're going for, you buy uniform, you know. So you find out that it's free, like the tuition, which really, if it was going to be out of pocket, you probably can't even afford it. Yeah, but there's still little, and it's those little expenses that will not add up. Before you know it, you've spent, a lot of money. So
Mm.
um Commonwealth will fund your children and your spouse maximum of 3 children, but all of the evidences have to be there. You know how Nigerians, we like to, at times, I don't want to, okay, let me not even say this here. Yeah, but everything has to be legit. Everything has to be legit. You have to show birth certificate, or you have to show, in fact, you must convince them beyond reasonable doubt that you are the one that pushed out this child into the world, and you're the one that is
Mm.
responsible. So even in the visa application, a lot of people, I did everything myself. I applied for my whole family myself. I just went through, read, gained all the, spoke to a lot of people that had done it, and they will ask you very critical questions. Who is financially responsible for this person? You are the, I'm the mother now. It's my husband that is paying for everything. I can now, if I now decide to say, oh, I'm not the one, it's my husband, you have put question mark. Like, they will scrutinize everything you say. So you have to be very careful. I know a friend that they denied her husband and her child. She's a
Wow.
Commonwealth scholar. She had to reach here, keep, like, it was a lot of stress. I am her friend. Like,
Yeah.
I was not the one in that situation, but I know how stressed I felt on her behalf. Eventually, from the back end, Commonwealth helped and everything worked out, and eventually they were able to come here. So you have to be very careful. Just make sure all your documentation, everything adds up, with prayer, with a lot of money behind you. Everything will work out. Yeah. So
Yeah, thank you very much. I mean, your story is really unique, and somebody is really inspired by your story. So, but is there for UK? I know with this issue of we have over 2,000 people watching us now.
Wow.
What with this with UK this UK new rule that is say you have
Mm.
to get to 10 years. I know that if you are in US, I'm not even sure that you'll be disunited in US for US. So
Mm.
mhm,
it's a blessing in disguise that you were delayed to come to this UK. Me too, I can
Yes.
confirm because I was in the picture.
mhm,
But I'm looking at going forward. What's the plan? Because for UK, they say even if you have been there, you have to be 10 years before you can file for INR. And I know
mhm.
that's not really your plan. People who like book like you don't really think about that.
Yeah.
So yes, yeah.
What's the
So
plan?
what,
Okay.
what what are you thinking about that? So that when you finish, maybe I can bring you to Canada, come and do postdoc and bring your family and get PR. Maybe that's another
Abi.
thing, but I don't know if you have any plan or something.
Yeah. So really, it's as you said, like the new rules. I'm still hope I'm I'm still in that um group
Is
of people
that is
that
that really enforced now? Is
no,
it
no, 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 no,
is
no,
it
no,
a
no,
rule now?
no, no.
No.
It's
Okay.
a white paper, as they call it. Because even me, I was confused at the beginning. It's a white paper, so it's like, okay, in layman's term, is like saying this is what we want to do for you people, for it to be deliberated, right? Already there are a lot of lawsuits flying left, right, and center. People saying we, like, even like British citizens. I'm not even talking about people that got the passport when they got here. White people, like original Britons, or is it British people, are saying this is not legal. You can't just change rules automatically for people. You can't, it has to, even if you want to change it, make it softer. They're just kind of like countering everything. So as I said, right now it's still a white paper, and they're saying this is what we want to do, but definitely is an indication that things are going to get tighter, things are going to get more tough in terms of coming
Mm,
in and even settling, right? So for me right now, or would I say for me and my family, it's about, we're here, we've gotten here. um 4 or 5 years ago, things changed, and
yeah.
they will change. I'm here for the PhD. I still have to do it. I can't move my funding somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
But the other things that we could be doing behind the scenes, whether in terms of another country PR, getting in the pool, whatever, 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 getting a job somewhere, these are all will I say, doors we're all exploring. So there's nothing cast in stone, and
Mhm.
there's nothing that is like, and really, I'm going to be honest here. Me as a person, personally, I came here to school and with the added benefit of jappering, right?
Okay.
If one thing I know for sure with my husband or with me is I can never be in any country illegally. it will never happen. I can never subject myself to such torture, mentally and physically or whatever. So if I'm going to be in a place, it has to be illegal. Like, I want to be free. I want to move on the streets. I've seen people that are here illegally, and I see how, in fact, I feel suffocated on their behalf, because there's so many things they can't do. There's so many, restrictions. And it's not just me. You have kids. I can't just, put them in that kind of situation. So all plans are, you make the best use of the opportunity you have here. We have, I think, will I say 4 years or 3 years plus in my situation to figure out things. So D1, in fact, now you've even reminded me, why didn't I even disturb your life? Because really, it calls for even the people that have been here longer than me, ILR as they call it. Brainstorming, you have to brainstorm, like, where do I now go? And this is not to discourage anybody, because there are people that I've seen online, influencers and whatnot, saying, don't come to the UK, don't come to the UK, things are getting worse. Things are getting worse everywhere. Christiana is saying it, like, to get visa to Germany now is something else, right?
So we have to wait 2 years to get a visa.
Things are getting, and we have to be smarter in where we apply to, where we go to. And for me, that was why there are certain countries that when I was applying, I couldn't even consider them, because I know I can't, it's not just me. I have to carry people along, my husband, my 2 children then. So you have to be very honest to yourself. Look at your own personal situation. Where can I afford? Because there are countries that that are way, way cheaper. There are countries that are, have shorter, maybe your own perspective is you want to work. Somebody wants to go to school. So you have to now consider, where do I fit best and strike in that direction. So really, to sum it up, the question you asked, I'm in the point where I think a few days back, I started getting into that rut of, was it a mistake coming? But I know God doesn't make mistakes. No. So I don't even want
it's not a mistake. It's not a mistake coming. Yeah, another thing we'll discuss, we'll discuss personally, is you have your possibility of getting a B2 green card to US, you and your family. I think I see your profile. Your profile can get it, unless you don't like US. But your profile can get green card in US.
Yeah.
So that it just is remaining. By the time you finish your PhD, you can just come to US and then move. So it's just a possibility. You're going to spend few money, but it will not be as it's
like, there's so many opportunities. It's about just one, being smart, and so
thank you very,
don't worry, we'll talk later. Thank you.
We'll talk about it. Christiana, so I want to ask, so what are the opportunities? Because I know that a lot of my friends that I have in Germany came through work.
Really?
That's the best. Yeah, that's the best route to come to Germany.
Yes.
All the people that came through schooling, some of them have jackpot to Canada, some of them have jackpot to US. Some that are still there are saying, "Oh, this one is not easy. If you cannot speak the language after schooling, is really hard." So I mean, I know that you are working. God gave you a job. And they're going to open doors for you. But how are you coping all of that? And what is the future? And by the way, we need to find a guy for you. So if you are here and you like Christiana, let me do Lege Miami. Let me do Lege Miami. A reasonable man.
No, we don't want reasonable. We want over reasonable self.
Over reasonable man. So there are people watching. There are people watching me on Twitter. There are people watching me on Instagram Live. I can see, and there are people watching me on YouTube. So I'm streaming on the 3 devices.
Oh, okay.
So if anybody is interested in Christiana, you know that you have sense, DM to me. I'm serious. So she said she's single. She said it in passing that she's single. So let's go back to our question. So, I mean, what do you think in all of this? Germany. What will you advise someone in Germany? What is you talked about your experience. That some people also finish schooling with you in Germany, but getting jobs may have been issues. People may have been doing manual jobs, but getting corporate job is really, really hard. I mean, so what will you say about that? And then how smart can people be?
Okay. So one thing I would say is all those rejections actually prepared me for what? I don't know if the rejections I faced when applying was, I don't know. I feel like the rejections I faced when I was applying for job was worse than when I was applying for an admission. I promise you.
Wow.
Mm.
Because
But, but
yes,
but but that one gave you the experience.
yes, it's already give me the experience, because like other people would, or like I met a couple of people who would face rejections and like get discouraged. Oh, I'm not doing again. And when I
Mm-hmm.
keep trying and trying, it'll be like, rest, calm down. I said no, no. I know my situation, and it's so funny because, like I said earlier, from home, like when I got it was, hey, there are opportunities in Germany. When you come here, you're going to get a job. I got my job like a year and 1 month after I came here.
Mm.
I got a job a year, and it's so funny because that was when the money in my blocked account finished. That was
Wow.
telling you, God just said, let me pity this girl. And because I was genuinely considering like cleaning jobs, factory, Amazon, warehouse,
Yeah,
I was already
yeah.
considering all those. Yeah, so I would say that resilience, that those the rejections really, like, of doing when applying for a school,
Mm-hmm.
um really shaped the way I see things. And this is also me just stating it out there and giving a tip that while you're waiting, be growing while you're waiting.
Mm.
Someone shouldn't meet you the same way you were last year. Oh, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't get
Yeah.
admission. I didn't get this thing. Let me even say this. I mentioned earlier that I was earning 50,000 when I started the JAPA journey. And when it wasn't coming forth, I just had to develop myself. I wrote IELTS. I published. So in conjunction with some people in the D1's group, we were able to
Yes.
do some publications.
So many people.
Yeah, I also
Yes, I
did. I did
remember.
two publication. Yeah, I did two publications. I got a better job that gave me a better pay that can
Mm-hmm.
also increase my chances of um that can also increase my options, so I can be able to
Yeah.
look at other countries and all that. So this is my advice to you, that while you're waiting, while all the rejections are coming, do something for yourself that it's obvious that you were better than how you
Mm-hmm.
started. Grow through the process. Yeah, so because those rejections, when I was applying for a job, like, it's already a limitation for me that I can't speak German. So
Mm.
it's already competitive. So you can imagine someone that can speak German and English is still applying for the English speaking jobs. And then most of the
Yeah.
English jobs, or like most of the German jobs, you're or the jobs that require German, you are ineligible. So it's more
Mm-hmm.
like it's really a tough competition out there, and you really have to have like tough skin when you're here. So funny enough, this my job, the requirement, there was also a German requirement, but I put in my applications anyway and I forgot about it because I was really applying for jobs. I think more than 200, 300 jobs, if
Mm-hmm.
not more. Like I was really applying for, and then this job required German. I put in my applications anyway, and turns out that God was really faithful. My manager really liked me during the interview. She told me that my inability to be not fluent in German would not affect my chances, or it's not really a problem
Mm.
because yeah, my company is the headquarters is in Mexico, but they have a Germany is the European headquarters. So most of it's more like a mix. So we have Mexican, Spanish here. So it's the working language is English. But why
Mm.
she needed German was because my team they are all Germans. So I'm actually I'm the non-German on the team, but we still get along. We find a way to work around this thing, and we find a way to work around, achieve
Mm-hmm.
our goals as a team, and when they are speaking the German, I'm also like learning one or two
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
from the whole thing. So yeah, so advice, yeah. So I think
Yes.
after graduation, if you the seriously, the language is really a strong tool.
Yeah.
Like if you can speak the language, I think your life is probably 50%, 60%
This is
better.
better. Better.
Easier.
Because even to get citizenship, I was also exploring like the citizenship option, looking at Canada,
Yes, I was going to ask that.
looking at the UK. But the truth is, you can get your citizenship within 5 years here. Yeah, so you need to have the B1
German,
language.
German proficiency.
Yeah, B1 German proficiency. Then that's the least you can have. Then you need to have like, is it 2 years work experience? Yeah, 2 years work experience. Yeah, and
Mm.
then or 3 years work experience. So 5 years from 5 years from when you come into the country, you can get your citizenship. And
Mm.
it's like, okay, are you sure I'm not going to really like just sit down and put my head to learn the language? Because it's like, what's there to lose? It's not like
Mhm.
it's better in Canada or in US or or anywhere. Every country has their own peculiar situation. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's an option to actually remain here, put my mind more into learning the language, because hopefully I should be finishing my master's by the end of the year. So yeah, that's an option. And once you graduate, you have 18 months. You have 18 months to get a job, else you'll be shipped back to your country. Yeah. So what most people do is they either, if they're unable to get a
They
job,
do another masters.
yeah, they do another master's or a PhD.
Yes,
Yeah.
and PhD, I know. No be Naija, I know.
So is that what allows them to eventually get to the 5 years so that they can apply?
You still need but yeah, you still need a job though. You still need a job. You need to still prove like source of income. Yeah, you still need
Uh,
to have a certain amount that you earn yearly to be able to
okay.
qualify for citizen. Yes. So
Okay.
yeah.
So Christiana, so this job that you got now,
Mm-hmm.
in Germany, you can work unlimited hours, right? The job is also
No,
counting. Okay, this one is a student job, but it's a
it's a
real
student
job.
job. It's an official. Yeah, so I work in a company. So yeah,
Okay.
I work in a company. So
Okay.
it's just
So
for a student.
once you are done, they can just convert you straight up to full staff.
Hopefully that's the prayer. That's the prayer. Because yeah, it's a really lovely company. Honestly, like
Yeah.
it's how am I going to put it? Work life balance is really work life balance.
Yeah.
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 I'm
Okay.
always I'm always like in shock about like a lot of things, because like the company is from Nigeria. We thank God.
Yeah, I know. We know.
Yeah. Really, even here with when you
We
see
know.
people walking, so you're like, this is it. This is where it stops. you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
mean, abroad generally, once it's 4:30, if you like die, it will be next day. Nothing will happen. Make anybody do
Nothing will
anything
happen.
after close of
Yeah.
business. Nothing. If make us the ball like this, it's next week tomorrow. I like that about abroad.
Yeah.
I like that
They're
work.
really peculiar about their personal time.
yes.
They don't
So
joke with the work-life balance and all of that.
so
Yeah,
it's
it's really nice.
okay. So yeah, so a student is can work 20 hours yeah, per week. Then during the holidays you work 40
Mhm.
hours. Yeah. So
Okay.
mhm.
Thank you so much. So, guys, let's bring our questions. We've been talking for 1 hour 23 minutes here, according to my stream here. Somebody is saying, please send your messages. I'm checking it on Instagram, on YouTube, and on Twitter. You can send your message and all of that. Somebody is saying that Ikram, I'm inspired by Ikram's story, a mother of four doing PhD. The person said, oh, more, me, if I had or more
Me
times
too.
100, or more. Me said
Yes.
I had more times 100 years. So, Ikram, I want to
Mm.
say something.
Yeah.
With the way you speak now, something came to my mind. I don't know if you are thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Even if it is once in a month, do you have a forum where you speak to inspire ladies,
Mothers.
women in the north, mothers
Really.
and women in the north?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, your tribe, especially
Mm-hmm.
Muslims, because
Mm-hmm.
it's really hard to see somebody like you who is so sound and
Mm-hmm.
yet so religious. I don't know if you understand what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really hard. I know some people like you, but they are not much. So
I get what you
is
mean.
there a way? Is there a way you can? Is there a way? Are you thinking of get into your tribe, telling people, so especially to inspire ladies, so that they will not think that after 16, 17, once they start their menstrual flow, they just have to go to find their husband and they go to the husband and be giving birth. That really breaks my heart. I know that there are a lot of sentiments, religious and political, undertones in situations like that. But just to genuinely care for people, that's my own point.
Mm,
That people can be inspired.
mm.
Are you thinking about it? Abi, you don't want to talk?
No, 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 no. Do you know right now there are a lot of will I say forums that I'm part of. So the women academics, because I was before I even started the PhD, I was in academia, so I was lecturing. So there are a lot of women academics, the northern branch, the whatever, all of those um group of people who are doing quite a lot, but I think what we're actually not doing is pushing it out there. So people are doing,
Mm,
how people are, everybody's doing one podcast or the other, being an influencer or being on social media to showcase their work. For a lot of people within my cycle, and even myself, I'm guilty of that, that's what is lacking, right?
mm,
And I think, as you said, like, am I thinking of it? I am thinking of it. And it's one of those things that is on the horizon for me to push myself out there because,
exactly.
sorry, um,
Yeah.
can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we
Yes,
can hear
please. I
you.
can. Sure.
Okay. So as I was saying, it's like just pushing it out there. Behind the scenes, I do a lot, like talking to people, um, not just within my own cycle. There are a lot of people. There are people that will just send me a message out of the blue. Please, I need to talk to you. Can you, like they hear bits and pieces. Oh, Ikram is doing this. Somebody is doing this. Talk to them and things like that. So there are a few of us, or quite a few of us, that are doing it. But I think it's just putting on that platform where it's being seen. Probably, I think that's what is missing. Because really, one of my even personally, one of my own, will I say, one of the things I'm trying to improve on is putting myself out there, be it on LinkedIn, be it with my research, be it with building, a brand, for oneself and things like that. But it's it's not as, how do I put it? It's not as the people that go to school, in the north. It's not as
No, no.
bleak
It's
as,
not as bad as
yes,
it seems. Yes, I know. I know. I
same.
know.
I
I
remember
know.
a classmate of mine when I was doing masters. He I think he had schools in the east and the western part of Nigeria, and he came for masters in Abu Zaria. And one of the things he said to me was, he didn't know that a lot of us go to school like this, that kind of thing. And he was like, honestly, he's not happy that he had that mindset, or he thought of things like that. Is being here, being in the classroom with us, he could see a lot of northern girls. I used to wear my hijab from top to bottom in school. Like, even
Yeah.
now, like, I wear my hijab and I'll go to my lab and we'll go and sit
The
down there and
class.
work, right? So for him, it was really an eye-opener. And I think we probably need to, as I said, people like me that look like me,
Yes.
that have the backing that I have, to put it out there and to really show people that you can do it. Just 2 days back, if an extended family member, a 16-year-old, is
Mm-hmm.
got married, and it pierced my heart, because I'm like, okay, now how do they expect to get out of the cycle of her mother is from her mother and father from the same community, grew up there, lived all their life there. Now she was born there, she has school there, she has gotten married, and that's where it stops. And I was asking
Mm.
an aunt of hers, who is also my aunt, that will they allow her to go to university? And she was like, she just laughed. And she
For
was like,
me.
from where? I was like, okay, I hope she has a skill, something that she can fall back on. She's like, she knows how to sew, she sells this, she sells that.
Uh,
I was like, okay, we'll support her,
mm,
we can support her. But there is still a lot of work to be done. I'm not going to mince
mm,
words. Like, there's a lot of work to be done. But people are becoming more and more, and not just even for people in the north to go to school, but to know that you can do so much, you can achieve so much. And it doesn't just stop at the women D1, the men, a spouse, a partner is really, I can say, maybe 60 to 70% of your success. If you get the
yes,
right
I
person
agree.
beside you or behind you, there's nothing you
Yeah.
can achieve. Because really, for me, with all the effort I had put in applying, and if my husband had said, like, choose between this
No.
marriage or going, I would
Yeah,
not even
yes,
like,
yes.
because you'll be like, okay, now do I start? In the beginning, I will not even apply. I know a friend who is a
Mm.
medical doctor. When she heard that I was traveling, because a few of my friends, there's some medical doctors that were, doing their own JAPA thing. I was doing my own, and we kind of always used to group and meet and okay, how far I've written PLAB, I've done this, I've done that. And one of her, she has all it takes, she's even gotten all her exams done. The only thing is to probably get a job, which is the easier part for them. I think medical doctors writing and passing all those exams is the harder part. But her husband is
Yeah.
like, if you want to go, go. Nisha, I'm staying back.
Mm.
Where is she going to with two children and probably more on the way
Mm.
or later down the line? What kind of life do you want to give your kids being in that kind of relationship where your husband is in one country or in another country? Not that is for a greater good that, oh, I want to unite eventually. No, he's like, this is where I want to stay. I don't want to move. Right. So I think it all starts from self awareness. Know who you are, know what you want in life. And even in selecting a spouse, know the kind of person you like. It's definitely one of those things that should be in the on the table. You know how you ask is like a potential fiance or whatever, how many children do you want, what's your religious ideology, how do
Yeah.
you want to live? Do you want to Japan? Do you want to remain where you are? Really,
Yeah.
is one of those things now that is
Yes,
on the
let
table.
us know. Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't want to go and be with someone that eventually is like, I don't want to go anywhere. They have a right to have
Yeah.
that mentality or to have those beliefs or want what they want. But then you don't want to tie yourself and you eventually have to sacrifice such dreams or whatnot. Because believe it or not,
Exactly.
that people that prefer to stay back in Nigeria for one reason or the
Yes.
other.
Yes.
Right?
I
So
agree.
and
Yep.
they're not wrong in their own,
In
in
their
what they
own
want.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so just know that because you and the person that you're with, you have the same mindset,
Hmm.
you are thinking of the same goal, that kind of thing. Because really, even being alone abroad is hard. Talk more
Yeah,
of,
I agree.
you don't have that support, or you have
I agree.
a partner that is fighting you, come back, don't stay, so it's a lot. But really,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I think we need to do more, definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I think yeah, thank you so much. I'll be dragging you more now to come. I know that PhD is really hard for you, but as we get much more easier, I'll be
Mm-hmm.
dragging more to speak to you, encourage people. For
Mm.
people asking me, somebody's asking me on Instagram, system program. Please, I need your WhatsApp contacts. You can see it on the screen. For people on Twitter, just go to the comment section of my page, of this page. You can see my latest post that shows us like this. So check the comment section there. You see Java Consult Customer Service. So that's our WhatsApp customer service for people asking me. So you can ask them questions about before when these guys came 4, 5, 4, 3, 4 years ago. I was the one answering them. Now, Baba, I don't get that time. I'm doing other things now. So my customer service will explain what we do, the kind of service we have. If you want to join our community like they have, you can also join our community and all of that. Yeah, so it's really good. So let me ask Christiana. So Christiana, what are you doing now to um you know mentor and maybe do you have some sort of mentorship for people? Because one of the things I put out to people is
Mm.
it was because I chose to come out
Mm.
of my shell that I met you.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
It
exactly.
is also important that you come out of your shell to meet people. You must pass that baton to others. Either you want to use it as a business or not, it's not the conversation now. It's like just reaching out to people.
Yes.
Either you make money from it or not, it's not even the conversation. I'm sure you guys know. Apart from
Yes.
the money I make, there's so many free stuff I do. And the
Mm-hmm.
number of people who gain from the free are more than the money I make. You guys know already.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that itself is fulfillment for me, even if I make money, but the money is not the
The
drive, the
goal.
primary drive
Mm.
for me. Yeah,
Mm.
the money is not primary. It's to have a community where all of us are okay, everybody is better, and our children are able to get opportunities that we could not get on time.
Mm.
So I don't know if you are thinking of that or do you have a community? If you don't, can people reach out to you as we round up?
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know,
I was going to also say that on the side, I'm not I it's not official, or there's nothing official that I'm doing about it. But there's this Telegram group for Nigerians in Germans where I help people to, just, is it freelance, I'll
Mm-hmm.
call it now. Oh, reach out
Yes,
to me.
randomly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, reach out to me for your CV, to vet your CV, and then your SOP. I can also help put you through scholarship, visa applications, and all that. So it's not really something official, but I mean, I try to, when I see that someone needs help or anything, it's like, okay, reach out to me. And I'm also safe and putting it out there that for those willing to work, not because
Eh,
there are people that come to meet you and it's like they've not
hey,
even done their research, nothing.
they
And
don't know anything.
yes, where do you now start from? Because you need to, I don't, there has to be, I need to see that there has to be like a drive or like a fire or a ginger. I need to see that to be
Yes.
able to help you. Okay, you research, you did so and this. So how do I proceed from here? It's easier to help someone who has the drive and the ginger for these things, and someone is like, oh, okay, give me schools or recommend schools. When Google is free, there's even now ChatGPT and all that, and I don't know,
Exactly.
it's I don't know. So for those that are willing to put in the work, who are willing to
Mhm.
work hard, I would hold your hand. I will push you. I will drive you, but please come correct. Please don't come, because I will
Mhm.
Ex-
ignore you if you if
eh,
you.
Exactly.
People
So
want you
is
to.
it?
Sorry to butting, but you know how, like for the Commonwealth application, there's so many essays that we write, or is it we wrote?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I've had people reach out to me to say, please give me what you wrote. And you
Ah,
just what I was like,
It's possible. I promise you, if you see the request.
so really, D1, I think that's also one thing. Like people, like we need to shout it. You need that we pay to, like, eventually, like at the beginning, we pay to like join the forum and things like that. Apart from
yeah.
the tips you pick, you have to work. Nobody will
We
do your
work.
work
Exa-
for you.
You will
There's
work.
nobody. There's nobody that D1 is paying to say this person writes SOP. This one writes cold email. You will learn how to do it. You will do it yourself. You will bring it and show. And if you've not done it correctly, they will correct you. You go back and do it
Yeah.
again till you get
Exactly.
it or till
Exactly.
you get a response. So I think people
Exactly.
need to. We need to really leave that. I can just get anything on a platter, or my money can get it for you. In fact, pay someone to do it. When you get, your supervisor will correct you. Like you, is it at that point you now start showing your ignorance, or you now start, because there's some basic things that they will ask you, or they will say your the loopholes will begin to show. You don't want to be that
Mm,
person that gets over there and then they realize this person was not worthy of getting here, being on this scholarship. And I think the most unfortunate thing that people don't realize is you block out the road for other Nigerians,
Mm.
because that's what
exactly.
we think we can get things, by our ways. But what of when they figure out the people that are coming behind you? You see, this white people we're talking about, all of these stricter measures, even the visa, the whatnot. There are a lot of people that have probably done one or two wrong things that have made them to say, we need to
Yes.
tighten this way. We need to, because it's not just about you, it's about others. Like, you have to really, if D1 hadn't come out to say you can come here, you can go to Finland, you can go to Germany, UK, US, most of us, I probably wouldn't have even thought about it. But there's somebody that
Yeah.
set the ball rolling. If you're on your own journey, make
Yes.
sure you do not cause harm to other people.
Mm.
I'm talking from the not just
Exactly.
religious, but humanity as a human being. You have
The,
to, like, whether you want to believe in karma or whatnot, or God, but you have to answer to some. If you do something wrong that causes somebody
yeah.
harm behind you, you will see it. So it's not just about getting to the other end of whatever country you're going to, but what are you going to meet there? Because if you've not done things right, you go and meet harder situations, or things will move the way you want them to move. So just know that you have to put in the
Thank you
work.
very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. So it's really important that people know that. So I want to ask you. Someone is even asking, can we get the number of said? I've just completed my masters in the UK and anticipating on getting fully funded scholarship in Germany. somebody's asking your number, maybe Christiana. No, Christiana will not give you a number so that I can be bombarding her with, please send me SOP, send me SOP. They don't do that kind of thing. I beg.
No.
We don't do that here. You can send you can send your request to Japa Consult, and then we can
Yes.
bring you in. So, but again, this is Christiana. If I were you, what I would do, let me tell you, I'll go and
Mm.
search for her name on LinkedIn. I
Mm-hmm.
will send a request. I will send a request to her on LinkedIn, and I'll write a very brief and short essay of what I have done,
Mm.
what remains to be done, and where I need help.
Mm.
That way, she can read your story in 2, 3, 4, 5, seconds, and then she's able to decide. Okay, this person has sense. This person just need help. Those kind of people, I reply them. It's not hello. I saw you on D1. Please, how can I get scholarship to Canada? How can I get scholarship to US? For people like that, I don't even reply. So if you have done your job, they can help. That's why we are here.
Mm.
But if you have not done your job or you don't know anything, just go to our customer service and then you can start the process. That one is not free, you pay for it. Or go to my page, go to my Twitter page. I know a lot of
Yes.
people on Twitter who are
Yes.
also listening to me now.
Mm.
Go to my Twitter page, go to my pinned post on Twitter. I have over 75 posts that I
Yes.
post there.
Yes.
You can't,
Yes.
there's no way you don't need to finish it, don't worry, no fear. Once you read 1 to 20, you already know where you are going.
Yeah.
Yes.
The others are jara. Once you read 1 to 20, oh, okay, this one I should do, this one I should do. That's the direction that the WhatsApp is just to create a community of,
Mm.
just like Christiana said, or how to help ourselves, and all of that. So you don't have to pay anybody, including me, to do it. However, don't expect that somebody will leave their work and be doing your own work as if they don't have time. For anybody to do that, then you have to pay for their time. That's the way the
Yes.
world
Yes.
works.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
it's a time for value thing. If I will help you,
Yes.
you must have done something so that I know my time is not wasted. But if you want
Yes.
me to sit down with you, then I must get something for my time. That's the
Yes.
way. It's only two people that are entitled. So he's supposed to check my essay that we are friends. Okay, I don't have work, Abby. You know, So I mean, guys, I really need to, thank you for your time. Ikram, how can people reach out to you? Should they send you a message on Instagram or LinkedIn? I mean, how can people reach out to you? Because as much as people are not serious, there may be one or two persons that
No,
are
definitely.
genuinely inspired by
Yes.
this conversation that you
I
just
think
feel to help. So how can they reach out to you?
yeah. I think email and LinkedIn works best because really my Instagram is just to go and read what's happening in the world and check out.
Yeah, and then go back to
Yes.
your.
Yes, go back to my serious life. So, but really, in LinkedIn, it's Ikram Sadiq. You will see my headshot there. Um, my research is in building integrated agriculture. So, what do you call it? I try to post as much as possible regarding my research. So it's there. Then you can reach me. I don't know, D1, is there a way we can type from here?
I think so. Let me see.
I think
Or you
it's
can
here.
send it to me. But I think you can type. There's a way you can type. Yes.
Yeah. Just maybe my email. You can
Yes.
send me.
There's
Yes, you can put your email there.
there. Yeah.
Yes. So
Yes, you
that's
can
my
put it at
email.
the. So you can put your email. Okay,
Yes.
let me see if I can see it. Private chat. Okay, it's from private chat.
Okay.
Let me copy it and put it in the public chat. Just wait.
Okay.
Yes, so I'll put it here in the comment section. So let me
Mm-hmm.
post it. Yes, that's your email. That's Ikram's email. I'll put it on the screen now. So I'll put it on the screen now. Everybody can see. Yes. So that's Ikram's Gmail.
So,
For anybody that wants to send email to her, you need help. Yes. But of course, that's why email is good. Once you see one nonsense email like this, you just ignore. Put it in spam or block or even ignore. That's why email is good.
yeah. I'll try as
So
much
anybody
as
that replies
possible.
your email, know that your email makes sense. So
Yes. Yes. I know the
yeah.
people. Thank God, cold email. You will send email, you'll be looking at it like this. What has it opened? Has it what is it doing? But anyways, as Christiana said, like it's it's really, I think that's what makes you survive when you come, when you, whether it's Canada or US, or that's what is going to make you survive, because you've seen a lot, you've gone
Yes.
through a lot.
Yeah.
So when they start throwing you small
Exactly.
things, you're like, this one I can handle it, this one, like you build that resilience.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
just the graduate school
Exactly.
without life is a whole
Yeah.
lot. Then you
Yeah.
add other, you know,
Yeah.
will I say things, whether family, whether lack of a job, lack of, I've seen people here that are doing school without funding, and I'm like, how do people do it? I can't try it, because
Exactly.
probably,
And they are
but then
surviving.
somebody is doing it. So everybody will choose their own hard, or is it everybody will have their own hard to go
Yes.
with? So, but
Yes.
just know that
Yeah.
the
Exactly.
process builds you as a
Mm.
human being, you know, and eventually things will eventually settle and work out.
Mm. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm genuinely inspired by this. Even me, I'm genuinely inspired again, listening to your story and listening
Yes.
to
Same
Christina's
here.
story again. Even me too,
Even
I'm
me,
genuinely inspired
Christiana, you
again to
staying in a place I don't understand the language is a big, seriously. Ah,
you be like,
Oh,
will they sell me?
oh
Hey,
no,
will they sell me? What will happen?
let me say
mm,
something. There was this I think when I newly came, I even came in the winter.
mm.
So oh my god, it was really, really crazy. So there was I couldn't locate the road to my house, to my apartment,
Hmm.
and my phone went off.
Ah,
Oh my god.
eh,
Like, it was crazy. It was
Mm.
crazy. You know how, okay, I'm trying to speak English, like, okay, where is this? Can you tell me the bus to enter to this so and so
yeah,
street? Everybody just
yeah.
looking at you like, and even the worst part is, even those that can speak English may really not want to say anything much. So it was
Mm.
Yep.
really crazy. Like, I sat down at the corner and cried.
Yes, no.
Yeah.
I
You
cried
cry.
to
Will
my
send me.
husband. I
Like
cried
You
to
God.
my
cry. Then.
husband. Then serious, I was the one that had to figure out my way home. Like, I walked for close to 2 hours trying to. It's also funny because I will go around and see myself at this, coming to the same spot again. Go
Hmm.
around.
Hmm. Ah, that must have really been painful. God.
It's also people.
Yeah,
And
it's
even
really
it
hard.
was so cold. It was so cold. I think it snowed the previous day, so the next day was so cold.
Ah,
Like, oh
very. It
my
will be
god.
very cold.
I called my mom. I said I want to come home. I'm
Ah,
done.
I don't think there's anybody that doesn't go abroad and say I want to go home. Because some people just have people like, who even send me message?
I know.
Mm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, we've
Y- y-
survived.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
Yeah, I'm really glad about that. I'm really glad. So you can, before I forget, please, let's
Yes,
have that conversation of the your possibilities, and then we
definitely,
can even talk
definitely.
about it. Yes. So remind me because I will forget. So guys,
Yes,
I'm
sir.
really happy. We have almost 3,000 persons listening to us live now.
whoa,
Wow.
whoa.
I'm
This
really,
is
I'm
Thank
even
you,
me. I'm
guys.
shocked that people are listening to us. I mean, I'm sure that
yeah.
at least we know that at least some people will be genuinely inspired to go back
Yes.
and try again. Please, if you
I
are in
really
one
hope.
situation you've been trying and it's not working for people, if you are listening on Instagram, on YouTube, on Twitter, if it's not working, please try again. And you can try for about 1 or 2 or 3 years.
Three
Christiana
years.
try for about 3 years, yeah. You can try for 3 years. We've been in talk for almost 3 years, before it eventually worked. I don't know when you've been trying. I know Christiana to join us with some 2021. She tried a lot of many things, didn't work, scholarship, published paper, and all of that. So, but I always tell people, just like she said, Christiana said from the beginning, just make sure that you're adding something to yourself. Either you will need it or not, is not the problem. Make
Mm.
sure you are already adding value. That's one of the things I told myself when I was rounding up the PhD. I said, me, I don't want to have PhD like every other person. My PhD must have extra.
Hmm.
It was that extra that pushed me to write the project management certification, write the professional scrum. I said, yes, this one makes sense. Because
Yes.
PhD was not, because PhD, I just like didn't want to show the PhD. PhD, it's
Doctor.
not that it's not good, but
Yes.
I gave myself a higher standard that I should not just
Yes.
come out with just a PhD.
Yeah.
So that's the way it should be. Now I'm writing other certifications again. I'm doing other
Nice.
stuff again. You
Nice.
have to be if you want to remain relevant, you have to always be studying and be adding value to yourself.
Yes.
Otherwise, nobody sabi you. You are not so important. There are so
Mm-hmm.
many people in this world. So if you want to remain relevant and you want to keep inspiring people, you too should people should see your track record of you
Mm-hmm.
two moving up. And that's why we're having these conversations so that it can
Yes.
really, 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 really help people. And I'm glad that you guys came. Ikram, thank you for your time. 2 hours is a lot in this abroad. It's a lot. 2 hours is a lot. Thank you for your
Yeah.
time. I don't take
Yeah.
it for
Thank
granted.
you.
Thank you for
Thank
coming.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
guys.
Christina, thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you
Thank you
guys
so
for coming.
much. Thank you.
Yeah, so we're going to end the stream now. So we can reach out to Ikram on yayaincome@gmail.com. For Christina, she said she's in, if you can find her on, I think you are on LinkedIn, right?
LinkedIn. Yeah,
Yes.
LinkedIn.
Yes, you can find her on
Also
LinkedIn and all
follow
that. And
on
if you,
Twitter. But, God, I don't even
yes,
know.
follow on Twitter. You don't even know, I know, because of work and all of that. Yeah, so.
Yeah, please
And if
just
anybody's
LinkedIn will
here,
be the best. What?
yes, and if anybody's here, Christina, they enter your eye, please let me know,
Hey,
send me a message.
boss now,
Me,
boss
I will
now.
personally, I will,
Boss
Yes.
now.
So
okay.
let us ship her.
Yes, let us ship her straight up so that
Which
because
kind
that
of
because another conversation I will have in July is dealing with
dating?
loneliness and
Hey,
relationship abroad. That one
hey,
that day, Twitter,
hey.
the whole internet go buzz that day.
Yes.
That
So
day, the internet go buzz. That one. And
Oh,
another one another one I'll be having in August is how to deal with breakup abroad. That one's
that one
another
happens.
conversation.
It happens.
Ah, then they give people a breakfast abroad.
Yeah.
So we are having
God,
that.
oh, I beg.
We are also so we're having that conversation too. So, but guys,
thank
thank you
you so
very much.
much.
And then I'm going to see you guys later. So I'm going to end the stream now.
Okay.
Yes, so let me end it now.